Friends, I thought I would check back in about my Glarry guitar, which I just made a video yesterday with, which you can go see. I'll put a link there. It's a country type thing I did. But I wanted to talk about some changes I made to it, nothing major. I did, you may have seen a video where I put individual brass saddles back here on the back. They worked great. They looked a little wonky to me. And I just went to thinking about it a little bit. It did make it a little harder to put the strings on, to restring. So I rethought what I did, and I ended up getting some compensated bridge saddles there, which you can see, that I got from Amazon for like $10. I mean, like $9.98 or something like that. And I'll put a link to that as well. Really nice brass saddles back there for the bridge. And I typically don't like compensated, but these work really good and they intonated just fine. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. It's not quite dead on, but it's pretty close to it. So I thought I'd just play it a little bit of how it sounds. This is on the front pickup, which I love this front pickup, and I'm using a 57 twin on my Mustang GTX 100. I don't think I have anything on it except for some spring reverb. And I am using a Studio V3, which I'll show you. It's a little $100 preamp thing that you can get from ART, Applied Research and Technology, which I used to use art stuff years ago. I used to use Art Proverb back in the late 80s, early 90s in my little studio that I had. So I'm just gonna play you some sounds, how this sounds. The front pickup is particularly very satisfying. And I'm on the valve setting. This is a $100 little preamp that I'm using. You don't have to use this. It sounds great through the Fender GTX, but this gives it that little something that I kind of like. Is just rocking. I'll show you how it sounds on the back pickup. I personally think this pickup, I could probably switch this out at some point. It's very bright to me. I think my wife might be here. Hey baby, is that you? My dog thinks he hears somebody. Actually, that sounds better than I remember it sounding when I was playing with it earlier. My dog is going nuts. Hendrix, what's wrong? Go to the in-between positions so you can see kind of how that's sounding with this. I think my dog has finally settled down. No. Hendrix, you gotta be quiet, boy! So Hendrix was hearing Nikki come home. He's going a little bit crazy. Let me try a different amp setting here. Maybe let's go with the twin clean reverb. Let's see how that sounds. So this is is still going through the valve setting on the Art. That's in the mid position. That sounds great. A little bit quacky, I like that. Sweet! Here's how the front pickup sounds with the twins. Yeah, I honestly think that's the best that sound has ever sounded coming out of the Fender. I think this little Studio V3 is worth having. That is just killer. Let me tell you what, so after several months of owning this thing, what are my feelings? Number one, I must have gotten one of the really good ones. I've seen some ups and downs that people have posted of what they thought was good or bad about it. The only beef I ever had with this guitar, it was not set up really well coming out of the factory, and I did not like those brass bridge pieces that came with it. I got rattly, buzzy kind of sounds. Replacing, honestly, I think this is a really good way to go. And you might think of spending $10 and going with something like this. And I was surprised, like I say, typically you can't get exactly perfect with your intonation with this kind of bridge saddles. But I got close enough that it doesn't, I mean, I can... Close enough for me, man, you know. And really sweet tones that I'm getting with this little guitar. Let me try to see if there's anything else. I've got a country twang here. It's probably going to be a little buzzier than And the other thing that I'm finding is I'm just really digging the neck. I have still zero fret sprout. I wondered if after 2 or 3 months of having it, if the neck would start shrinking up, but so far it has not. So no fret sprout. The frets feel great. The depth of the neck was a little hard for me. It wasn't hard for me to get used to. It's just unusual for a Telecaster. Little thicker neck than what I was used to. But now that I've been playing it for a while, I really like it. It's the lightest guitar that I own. And by that I mean it doesn't weigh hardly anything. It's basswood, and it's very well chambered, and the wood that's solid in it is light. And so that I dig. Does it dive forward a little bit? Yeah, it does, just a little bit, but the hair again doesn't bother me. Usually I'm playing with it in my lap. I've not been gone out and played anywhere where I have to stand up. So from a just sitting around playing type point of view, I really like it. And just like everything about it. The tuners in particular, some people have really thrown off on the tuners, which you know they're almost dirt cheap, whatever they've put on here. But I just tightened the screws down and tried the screws on the ends in various ways till I got something that felt right, that was easy to turn and still stuck pretty good. And I have to say that it stays in tune. I jam on this thing. I stretch and bend the strings a lot, as you can see. And it stays in good tune. So now I'll go ahead and pick one more thing here. Let's see, something that I wouldn't typically play. There's a Blues Junior. Let's see how Blues Junior sounds with this. I got going too much there, a little bit too much, a little bit too much. Just rock. Folks, pretty cool guitar for 119 bucks. Like I say, some people say it's hit and miss. Maybe I just hit. The only bad things I can say, fix this, trust the neck just a little bit, and this nut does come totally out when you take it out. It would be probably cool at some point to have a graphite type nut or something there, but honestly it doesn't stick at all. I did spray a little bit of lubricant and everything on it. I've got Ernie Ball Super Slinkies on it right now. That's the strings that I'm using. That improved things a lot. For $119, and now here again, those that have been watching my channel, keeping up with me, you know I've gotten one of the Blues Boy ASATs from G&L. That is a far superior guitar from just a craftsmanship point of view. You're not going to like super right home about the craftsmanship on this guitar, but the playability, the sound, the functionality of it's really great. I think the stock pickups sound just fine. I mean, it's different, it's unique, it's its own thing. Let's face it, two Telecasters side by side in a store never sound exactly the same, even from the same lot. So, you know, you're going to have different variation and everything, but I'll be darned if this just ain't fun and cool, and it's the ultimate little knock-around guitar that you don't have to shell out much money for. Hopefully you enjoyed this little follow-up. I thought it deserved it, especially now that I'm using the art to go in between it, playing it through a decent amp, good cables and everything, made my adjustments, let it settle in. And yeah, it's become my fun go-to knock-around guitar, and yeah, I would gig with it. I think it's dependable enough that I would go out and play shows for fun, and yeah, if I want to. I think it's just a nice, like I say, super light, super comfortable to play guitar. It's not going to wear you out over the course of an evening. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like.